All right, so let me go then to Alan Rogers, who owns the company Fine Creations for his church that I think is a fantastic model. Alan, welcome.
Thank you so much. Just appreciate you having me, Jim. So I'm going to try to show you one of the components in the kit first thing, and I believe the camera on the computer is picking it up. This is the resin impregnated board that we often see in model railroad kits. And there are a lot of different names for it, technical names, but this is what I use to design my window and door frames and some other trim components on the kit. This is HO scale, by the way. It's a very stable material. The only thing is, I like to use acrylic paints, and this stuff is very thirsty with paint. So whether you're using an airbrush to paint it, personally, I like to use this type of a roller. This is a trim roller from Home Depot. And I probably would put a couple of coats of paint on. So at this stage in the kit building phase, we want to make the windows. We want to get all the windows made, and then we'll install them on the walls, and then we'll install the walls together around the foundation. So those are going to be the steps. So I want to talk to you all about how to manufacture the windows. There's an old technology called decoupage from the 60s and 70s. I'm going to see if I can share my screen here real quick. Let's see. Here we go. So this is decoupage. This is just a artwork, very nice one, by the way. So we used to see these in the 60s and 70s, and the school kids would make these decoupage plaques and give them to grandma to hang up on her wall. And the only problem is sometimes grandma would end up with these images on her kitchen wall that she had to try and hide behind a refrigerator, and just didn't have the heart to take them down. But moving on here, the cement that I like to use to manufacture these window parts is Testors clear part cement and window maker. And the reason I like to use this is it's water-based, and the way I make my stained glass windows, it does not cause the colors to bleed on the paper. So when I'm making stained glass windows for either the O scale or HO scale versions of the kit, I'm just printing them on 20-pound bond paper. And I know we got into discussion some time ago about how we would do stained glass windows in a church, and some of you guys suggested maybe using transparencies. I tried that approach. You can get some transparencies that you can print in an inkjet printer, and the images are fine, but the problem is they're too transparent, in my opinion. So you have the ability to look through the window and see the light bulb or fiber optics light source inside the building. You need something more opaque. And the technique that I use, it renders an opaque, I think more of a realistic looking stained glass window. And if you look at a stained glass window on a church, you'll find that they're not very often glossy. They have more of a matte look because they're composed of many different components that are soldered together with lead solder. So this is the back of that sheet of stained glass windows. I have my acetate window glazing that you can see that I've glued on the back of those windows using the window cement. And you just want to put enough of a coating on there where it adheres well, but you don't want to make a puddle because when you try and cut them apart, the paper will degrade and you'll ruin them. But moving on, this isn't very pretty, but you just take a hobby knife and after everything's dry and cut out around the outline of your acetate, you end up with this. And then after you install the window frame, it looks like this. So you can see the window frame hides a lot of the imperfections that you got when you cut this out. It's a little more forgiving. And I tried to design these where there's a good fit when you actually end up putting this on the church building. So that's what we're doing at this stage. And next week, I'll start talking to you about assembling the walls together. So do we have any questions?
I think that's a
Yeah,
great,
Alan, that glue, you can just pick it up at Amazon, you expect?
Well, I buy it at Hobby Lobby and Michael's sometimes.
Okay,
But
I'm going to Michael's
Amazon
next
for
week. I'll
sure,
look for
and eBay has it as well.
it. Okay, thanks.
what is it called again, Alan?
It's Testors. Let me pull that picture back up here. I apologize. I forgot here. Let me just get back there and we'll look. It is Testors Clear Part Cement and Window Maker.
Chester's is what I used to make my model airplanes.
Still in business.
I'll be darned. Anybody else have any questions for Alan? Well, Alan, thank you so very much. I love the way you did those windows, though. I think that's a great idea.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.